Good evening, geeks and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the latest exciting horror figure announcement from the guys over at NECA Toys, as this week they revealed a new addition to the Ultimate Friday the 13th figure line that nobody was expecting. Now, if you're a horror collector, especially of NECA figures, you may remember some leaked photos surfacing on the internet about 6 months ago of an apparent Ultimate Pamela Voorhees figure based on her appearance in the original Friday the 13th. And as all of us horror fans know, or anyone who's seen Wes Craven's Scream, Jason wasn't the franchise's primary antagonist until the sequel, Friday the 13th Part 2. And he continued to cement his legacy as one of horror's most beloved and enduring slasher icons with every consecutive entry. But the first person to terrorize the camp counselors of Crystal Lake was the one and only Mrs. Voorhees, played masterfully by the late great Betsy Palmer, in what is, in my opinion, one of the most deranged and twisted performances in the entire horror genre.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her. Don't let her live. I won't, Jason. I won't.
And when I saw the photos of this leaked figure, I instantly thought, this thing has to be real. Everything, and I mean everything, pointed to this being an official Ultimate action figure from NECA. For starters, the head sculpts for this figure look phenomenal and way too professionally sculpted and fabricated to be a custom job by a fan. The exact same can be said for all the accessories displayed in the box, and also the fantastic paint applications. Also, if this was a custom figure, whoever made it would have been an extremely dedicated person to produce not just one or two, but a total of 4 different head sculpts for the figure, and mind you, all with various different expressions, so that made it all the more unlikely to be a fake. The accessories also seem to have their perfectly placed inserts within the packaging, and overall, this whole thing just looked way too good and authentic to not be a NECA release. But what really sold it as an official figure to me was the outstanding box art and packaging design. I mean, it's not unusual for people to make custom action figures, but what is unusual is for them to go the extra 10,000 miles and create a whole custom box for said figure with professional photos like this. And as the story goes, whoever got their hands on this figure apparently got it from a corner store for $10, which is a strange and unlikely story. And this whole thing got all NECA fans and collectors speculating as to whether this was indeed an authentic NECA product. And well, people started to do some research and came to a conclusion. It turns out that when the barcode on the bottom of the figure was scanned, it brought up the Friday the 13th Part 2 25th Anniversary diorama box set featuring figures of Mrs. Voorhees and Sackhead Jason that was released way back 20 years ago in 2005. This, coupled with the fact that the paint on the crotch area is slightly shinier than the rest of the legs, led many people, including myself, to believe that this was indeed a fake, but a damn impressive custom made by one ridiculously talented individual. However, many people remained absolutely adamant that this was a real prototype or early production run of a soon to be released Ultimate Pamela Voorhees figure. And let's face it, this supposed custom just looked way good to not be true. But without any word from NECA themselves about this apparent leak, and with no more answers coming through in regards of the authenticity of the figure, it seemed as though a new addition to NECA's Friday the 13th figure line would remain to be nothing more than a pipe dream for all horror collectors. That is, until this week. Fast forward a whole 6 months, and these leaked images of an apparent upcoming Ultimate Pamela Voorhees figure still sit in the back of the minds of horror collectors, when suddenly and out of nowhere, the unexpected happened. A listing on the Walmart website for the Ultimate Part 6 Jason Lives figure incorrectly displayed product pictures of none other than the Mrs. Voorhees action figure, confirming that the leaked photos from half a year ago were in fact real. NECA quickly made a post officially announcing the brand new Friday the 13th Ultimate, and horror collectors can now rejoice that we are getting a brand new collectible from the beloved horror franchise after a total of 4 years. And what can I say? The figure looks outstanding. Mrs. Voorhees will be coming with the aforementioned 4 head sculpts, all of which display the various crazed expressions of the character and carry a remarkable likeness to Betsy Palmer. It's safe to say that these head sculpts are a massive upgrade from the original release 20 years ago, as it rightfully should be, and are also heaps and bounds better than the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale figure from further back in 2002. The only other time that Pamela Voorhees has been given the action figure treatment, besides the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Retro Cloth 2-pack with Kid Jason that came out in 2015. And apparently Betsy Palmer herself wasn't the biggest fan of the Sideshow Collectibles figure, as she believed it didn't really look much like her. And yeah, she definitely had a point, but the figure is still a certified classic. The new Ultimate truly does showcase some great sculpting work and paint applications, and it honestly makes me feel like such a fool that I became convinced the leaked photos were a custom. As they say, you should always go with your gut feeling. Ultimate Pamela Voorhees will also come equipped with a canoe load of accessories, including a knife, an axe, a machete, a broken oar, and a bow with arrows. The packaging is also magnificent, and Mrs. Voorhees is already up for order on the NECA store website. In fact, many people already have her in hand, as NECA have already begun to ship her out. However, on the NECA store website, the page does state that the figure is a one-time only limited release, which I don't fully understand. I'm not sure if that means the figure will have one total production run and then that's it with no reissues, but I definitely won't be taking my chances, and I'll be ordering the figure as soon as possible. And for people like myself who live in the U of K, there are already some online retailers that have Pamela up for pre-order, and she's currently due to arrive sometime in July. But I'm sure she'll be worth the wait, and I cannot wait for her to join the rest of my Ultimate Friday the 13th figure collection. This whole situation has honestly had so many different twists and turns. I actually think we're left with more questions than we have answers. I mean, how did the guy who posted the leaked images get hold of the figure 6 months ago? And why was it apparently sat on a shelf in a corner store for $10? The whole thing just sounds super sketchy to me, and it's safe to assume that the story about it being found in the corner store is just complete bullshit. I personally believe that someone must have stolen an early production sample of this figure, which I guess would explain the mismatched shiny paint application we saw in the leaked images. How this was done, I have no idea, but honestly, who knows? The important thing is the Ultimate Pamela Voorhees figure is real, and we now have a new extension to NECA's Friday the 13th Ultimate figure line. As I said before, it's been 4 years since NECA released the Ultimate Part 7 figure, and we can only hope that we receive more figures in the future, specifically of Jason from Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X, as those are the only incarnations of the character we're now missing from the Ultimate line, with the exception of Jason as a kid, I guess. As a lot of people know, the rights to the Friday the 13th franchise have been in legal turmoil for years now. And although I believe that all the copyright issues have been resolved and this whole debacle has come to an end, the rights to the franchise remain to be quite complex. However, the new Pamela Voorhees Ultimate has proven that future figure releases for the franchise are possible, and I guess we all just have to keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. So with all that said, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this new Ultimate Pamela Voorhees figure, and tell me if she's slashing her way into your collections. Don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to the channel for more, and until next time guys, take care.